What's up, guys? I'm bringing you a very special technique today. It's a side control escape, and I kind of have like a love-hate relationship with this escape because it's so dumb, but it's so effective. This escape is called the Big Man Special, so check it out. Okay, so the first part about this technique, I want to talk about the core mechanics of the bridge, what your body is doing, because I feel like a lot of people, they don't understand a proper bridge and like roll, and that's what you're basically doing to make this technique work. So let's take a look at that real quick. Whenever we bridge, a common mistake that people make when they bridge, especially beginners, is they sort of pop their hips. So it looks like kind of like this. They kind of pop their hips like this, and they're hoping to like throw the person off of them, right? It doesn't work because when you pick your hips up and you bring your hips down, the person falls right back on top of you. What you're actually supposed to do when you bridge is it's a two-part motion. Okay, the first part is you turn your body into like an actual bridge. If you imagine like a bridge going up and over, that's going to be my toes, and then my hips, and then my shoulder, like this. Okay, so I create this bridge, and it's going to dump a lot of my partner's weight in this area, in this direction over here. And then the second part of the bridge is the part where people make the mistake here. They bring their hips back down. But what you're actually meant to do once you're in this bridge is you use your other leg, the weight of your other leg, to bring you over while your first leg maintains the bridge. So watch, this leg is going to stay and this leg is going to kick over like this. Here, okay? So my bridge is tipping them, right? I bring my toes close. I start to take my hips off the floor. I'm putting a lot of weight in my shoulder. So whoever's on me, whether it's side control or mount, their weight is kind of falling in this direction. And then the weight of my other leg is going to finish kicking them over. So watch this leg, how I start to bring it up while this leg maintains. Okay, I'll show you from another angle. Like that. I bring my toes close, I pick my hips up, and then this leg's gonna kick over. Here, okay? So practice this first, and then you're gonna be able to do the Big Man Special, because that's essentially all you're doing is you're taking away their posts, and then you're doing this motion. The first thing you're gonna wanna do is take your arm and reach around low on his knee and hug his leg like this, okay? The second thing you're gonna wanna do is press your head down onto his forearm. So I'm pushing the crown of my head down over his forearm, just like that. And then if we rotate around, so you guys can see, hello? So I've got my head down, I'm hugging his leg. The next thing I'm gonna do is get my bridge ready by bringing my toes close to my hips like this, okay? The last thing I'm gonna do with my body before I prepare to roll is I'm gonna work with my right arm so I can feel my bicep against his face, and it's gonna start to throw him offline by pointing my hand in the direction I'm gonna bridge, okay? So I block, I pin, I'm on my toes, and now as I start to throw him offline, I'm gonna pick my hips up, and then my non-posting leg is gonna kick over. It's gonna look like this. Just like that. We're gonna now talk about a little bit more detail for this move. The arm that you're using to hug around his leg, you wanna make sure that you're not putting pressure on his hip or in the middle of his leg. You don't wanna be hugging too high, because what we're trying to do is stop his knee's ability to base in that direction, right? So if I hug really high on his hip and I go to bridge, his knee's gonna slide in that direction. Go ahead, Joe. Like that. You see, that's balance in this direction. That's what we're trying to fight. Okay, so make sure when you hug this
you can feel a connection with your arm and his knee really, really low, and I'm actually closing my elbow a little bit, and I'm kind of pushing his knee towards his other knee like this, and I'm maintaining that. So I can feel like my my lat working to kind of close my elbow against my side like this, okay? The next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna trap this arm by pinning your head to the floor. Okay, so if I keep my arm or my head really loose and I go to bridge, this arm may start to come out in Deets like that. And that's not the worst thing in the world. A lot of times I'll do this technique and I'll keep the arm loose just to get him to post, and then I'll start to work my hand inside. And this can allow me to pass the arm to the other side of my body, or it can allow me to start to escape, and it frees my head from head control. But if you want to actually trap their arm and get this full reversal, you're gonna need to feel their forearm being pressed down into the mat. So I'm kind of doing like a little bit of a shrug here, and I'm pinning his arm while I'm hugging this knee in tight. Try to take your arm out. See, it's like a little, it's not control you're gonna have forever, but it's gonna be enough to get the job done while you're briefly gonna bridge him over, okay? And then back here on the feet, let's rotate all the way around. There's not much to it down here. You just wanna make sure of two things. The first thing you wanna make sure of with your feet is you don't want your feet flat, okay? When you bridge off of flat feet, your heels will tend to slide like this. I see a lot of beginners make this mistake. Well, they'll go to bridge and they do like this, and they don't get a lot of extension, and their heels start to slide on the mat. The second thing you want to make sure, going on your toes, but also bringing your toes really close to your hips. So don't bridge from way out here. If you notice the distance between my toes and my hips is really, really great, my bridge isn't going to be very strong. I want to kind of rock, look, like this with my knees, and bring my toes really, really close underneath my hips. And this is gonna allow me to drive my hips up really, really high and drive them over, okay? Look at this rock again here. So I'm not just planting my toes, I'm using the weight of my legs to pick my hips up, and then planting my toes underneath my hips, and I can already feel I have a really, really strong bridge. No matter how tightly he squeezes against me, with my toes underneath me, I'm gonna be able to create a really, really strong bridge and off balance him, okay? The last thing is this arm right here. This arm's job is to use your bicep against his face to move his head offline and help drive his weight over this tipping point we've created by blocking his arm and his leg. Okay, so I think about pointing, just like if Joe comes out for a second. If you guys do the bridge at your academy or at your gym, you guys ever notice like you point your finger like this and you kind of touch the mat? This is going to be the exact motion you're going to do, because it's going to start to drive his head in that direction and help tip him. Okay, if you keep your arm really dead, his head's going to stay centered over here, and it's going to keep his body perpendicular. Okay, so look at the effect it has right here. This hand, I trap, I bring my toes close, and as I bridge, look, right here, and I can almost touch my hand on the mat, like that, okay? And then the final part, this is probably the most important detail for this, because the rest of this is just trapping, like pinning and trapping and making sure he can't base, is the finishing your bridge, okay? So like I said before with the bridge, it's two parts, okay? The first part is creating the bridge. I bring my toes in, I create the bridge. The second part is maintaining the bridge while my free leg kicks my weight over top of him. Okay, so I'm gonna do the bridge, and I want you to really pay close attention to my legs. One of them is gonna maintain the bridge, and the other one is gonna take the opportunity to kick my weight over top of him, and that's gonna be the tipping point. Okay, so I use my head to pin, boom. I use my arm to trap low on the knee. I'm squeezing his knee in. I pick my hips up and I bring my toes really, really close. And now as I go to bridge, I'm bridging, and you're gonna see this leg kick over and that leg stay. Look, 1, 2, just like that, okay?
So that's the big man special. This technique is so stupid, but it works so well. This is probably the escape I hit the most. Second one I hit the most is just the classic, like frame the elbow, frame the hip, and get out. that'll always be like the bread and butter. But this is a nice one to kind of surprise those people that like to pin you down and hold you down really tight and squeeze really, really hard. A lot of times when they squeeze hard like that, they're giving up balance and base. Okay, so try this one out. If you guys like this technique, make sure you like, you subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out to create more videos, to know that you guys are enjoying what I'm putting out. And it's just a way for you to show support and show that you appreciate the techniques I do. So have a great day. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.